You're leaning on the pitchfork with Trace and Matt.
Let's go.
Okay, all right. Well, I think we're going.
All right,
Yeah.
we're starting our second podcast
Yeah.
with new equipment.
Yeah, I got some boom arms. Just, maybe they won't rattle as much or something. I don't know. And then we also, so we're here back at the North Lanark Regional Museum. And we are in a different room. So the sound might be a little
We
different.
are in the, what I guess we kind of call the tea room.
The tea room. Okay. Yeah, I like the tea room. It's nice. And there's a few other little, I'm looking around, what do you call it? Displays.
So right now we have a display on about the history of Fairview Manor, history of doctors and nurses in Mississippi Mills over the years. And it's pretty impressive, I have to say, for a little museum.
Yeah, I like it. And I noticed like there's a display of like, pharmacies in Pakenham.
Mm-hmm.
And, doctors in Pakenham and everything. A nice little organ in the corner.
That's always there.
I figured it. I can tell. So if you're wondering, I'm Matt and
I'm Trace.
And this is Leaning on the Pitchfork.
With Matt and Trace.
And we got some new music too.
We do.
We didn't hear it.
No.
Yeah, you were wondering when it was coming on, and that's actually I'll put it in after.
Matt's the one that does all the figuring it all out and everything, and I'm just the one that makes an idiot of myself when I'm trying to talk and get all flubble-doubled and say words wrong, and just like I entertain you guys at work.
Yeah. No, that's why we're having a podcast, right?
It's everything about nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. Leaning on the pitchfork, but it started off as everything about nothing. And are you happy? I think you've let enough people know about the first episode.
I let everybody, actually, I was at an appointment last week at the Civic Hospital, and I was in the waiting room, and I got talking to a lady who actually doesn't live too far from here, lives down in Corkery.
Oh,
and
okay.
Mentioned to her about the podcast, and she was all excited, and she listens to podcasts, so she wrote it down, and she was going to pass it on to friends and
nice
and
That's
all
good.
that. So I don't know exactly how many followers we have, because we have it on.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Right now, we're just like I feel like our last episode was like the icebreaker episode. I'm calling it the icebreaker episode.
I know on YouTube we've had 70 views.
Okay, that's pretty good. So we're on YouTube, Amazon Music. Amazon Music, Spotify. And Apple Podcasts, whatever that is.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So Corkery, you mentioned the lady from Corkery. It's funny you mentioned that because we don't need to talk about it now, but we were talking about the UFOs.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, before we get started, okay. I am going to put a bit of a plug in for the museum again. Once again, thank you to the committee for allowing us to.
Thank you.
Record here. Ed Wilson, okay.
Ed
Wilson. Yeah. He faithfully came today and let us in again, and
what a nice man.
Gave me the hodawn. So him and his wife are the sort of like the backbones of the museum. Him and Doreen.
Yeah.
And all that. We have something really exciting on November 20th at 7 p.m. At the North Lanark Regional Museum, 647 River Road, Appleton. Doreen has kindly written out a little thing for me to so I wouldn't screw this up. Lieutenant General Eric Kenny will share his knowledge of on the past and present and the future of the Royal Canadian Air Force. This year in 2024, the RCAF is celebrating its centennial. There is no charge for the talk, but donations are always greatly appreciated.
Okay.
And this is going to be amazing. This will be an interesting talk. So if you're not doing anything on Wednesday, November 20th at 7 p.m., come on down, support our museum, and learn about a bit of major Canadian history. Also on Wednesday, December 4th, we're having our annual Christmas luncheon here at the museum.
Nice.
First seating is at 11 a.m. and the second seating is at 1:30 p.m. And for anybody who's not have commitments that day, reservations are required because it fills up pretty fast, and
that's December.
That is Wednesday, December 4th.
Okay, and then Wednesday, November 20th is the other event.
Right.
No reservations needed for that. But for the 4th.
Yeah, because of food and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday, December 7th, we are having our annual Christmas Family Day from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And there's more information to come. Deb's the one that always plans this, but she always puts on a great Christmas party, traditional games, lots of fun stuff to do. Was 2 or 3 big raffles to give away, buy tickets. So, yeah.
Nice. That's fantastic. So some exciting stuff happening here.
It's a happening place.
Well, no, it's happening. We got a podcast going on here too. So
I know.
That's pretty exciting as well.
I know. So our last time we got talking about a few different things, and there's just a couple of things I want to clarify.
Okay.
We talked about the burnt lands.
Yes.
And I couldn't remember the name of the book.
Mm-hmm.
I went home. I found my copy. It's the Ottawa Valley Great Fire of 1870, and it was written by Terry Curry, who unfortunately is no longer with us. Terry Curry was an amazing man who really embraced the history of our area. The other thing was...
Where can you find that book? Do you know?
I think you can find it at local, like our little local...
Or even just like a Google search, you might be able to find it. Okay,
Yeah. And also when we were talking about R. Tate McKenzie, I kind of got things a little fluffered up. Joy of Effort, The Onslaught was 2 of his famous sculptures, and the book that was written about both R. Tate McKenzie and James Naismith was called Brothers of the Wind by Frank Casaneto. I hope I'm saying that right.
All right.
And my mom wanted me to point out, and shame on me, I said that both were born in Almont.
Okay.
They were actually born in Ramsey, which is the rural area of Almont.
Yes.
And that was before we amalgamated.
Yeah.
It was
so
Ramsey
both,
Township.
R. Tate and Naismith.
Both born in the rural parts of what was then known as Ramsey.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's my little clarifying of little blubbers from last...
Okay. And you also were kind enough to bring me a coffee today.
I did. I did. So, Equator Coffee,
it's
which
very
is...
good. Thank you.
Craig and Amber, who I actually went to high school with, started this.
So where's Equator Coffee? I think there's one in Barhaven, I believe.
There is. There's one you said at
where Starbucks used to be at the Indigo.
Yeah.
And I think that's an Equator now, pretty sure. And
there is. And there's one in Almont, which is kind of the home.
Where it started?
Well, I was talking to the lad who served me tonight, and he says he can't remember if it started in Almont and they opened up a place in Carleton Place. I think they started in Carleton Place and then moved to Almont. But they have 5 locations, one at the NAC, one at Westboro, one in Canada.
Oh, they're doing well. Nice.
Then one in Almont, and then one in Barhaven.
I'm really enjoying this coffee. I drink my coffee black too. So
I did not have a coffee, as you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I drink the real coffee.
Oh, you like it?
I drink the instant coffee, the real coffee.
The Nescafe Rich and Bold, I think we have it at work.
Yes, and I get razzed about it a lot.
Well, hey, I'm with you on that.
I know you are.
I do like a nice brew as well.
Yeah, no, I can't do it.
Brewed coffee.
I can't do it.
Perks? No?
No.
Too strong? Or
yeah, just use motor oil.
I know it's definitely different. That's for sure.
I don't know. I guess can't do it. I think the instant coffee is a farmer thing.
No, I am big on the instant coffee. The one thing with instant coffee I notice, because I drink it black, right? It leaves a bit of a texture in my mouth compared to the like perk or brewed. So it's like kind of sandy. It's hard to explain, but hey, it's.
I just don't. I just yeah. I can drink coffee like at a restaurant or something like that, or but it has to. And apparently, if it's too bitter, you put salt in it.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
I know some people who put honey.
I put honey in my coffee, so like I drink it black. You know what? Sometimes I'm in the mood for a bit of cream or sugar or honey, but most of the time it's black.
Drink your tea black?
Yeah, but it's usually mint tea, so or peppermint or chai.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway.
So, yeah.
So, what else do we got going on here? So, you had the Halloween reading last.
Did.
Okay.
Did.
Sorry, I couldn't.
It was, no, that's okay. That was okay. It was good. Yeah, it was fun.
Always a good time.
Always a good time. We had a small turnout, but it was a fun turnout. Mm-hmm. We got the rods out to try to do some paranormal talking. And,
okay. All right. Nice.
This place is actually well known for the paranormal.
Okay.
Phantom of the Ore, which is a well-known paranormal organization business. They were out here just a couple of days before us and did a paranormal reading. And actually last June.
Sorry, what was their name?
Phantom of the Ore. YORE.
Okay, yeah.
And last June was museum, like in June it's museum month. So they offered an opportunity for us and the Mill of Kintail and the Textile Museum to raise some money for the museums. And they did a paranormal thing where you signed up, paid to go. And then we also went to the Old Town Hall, which was two things. Our Old Town Hall was used, was the jail way back. And also, Almont's known for the train wreck.
Okay.
And at that time, it was the largest train wreck in Canadian history. I don't know if it still is or not. I'll have to check that out. But that's where a lot of the wounded and dead were taken, was to the Old Town Hall.
Okay.
So myself and my mom and our neighbor and Poltsy, who we used to work with, and my neighbor's cousin, we went as a group, and it was interesting. It was interesting. The highlight of it was we were at the each group started at a different spot.
Yeah,
and then you moved around. We started at the town hall. And then went to the Textile Museum, then went out to the Mill of Kintail. We were at the gatehouse of the Mill of Kintail, and we were down in the basement, which was your typical old basement, just a crawl, awesome. Just like a crawl space.
Nice.
And so each team had a camera that you kept recording, so that the people at the Phantom of the Ore could look at it afterwards and see if they can see anything or hear anything. And we had all the lights off down in the this little crawl space of and they had a couple chairs down there for you, but you couldn't even I couldn't even stand straight up, like it was your very old basement, crawl space, and we were talking away, right? And we were talking away, asking is anybody here and everything like that, and then all of a sudden, Pulse gave out this scream, like I'm talking a deadly scream of horror.
Oh yeah.
And yelled,
nice.
"Oh my gosh, something just touched me." and and almost jumped in my lap.
Yeah.
Everybody else jumped, and we turned the flashlight on, and here it was, one of those hornets, one of those great big hornets.
Oh yes, okay.
that had crawled onto her neck.
That'd be frightening. Yeah, your money's worth just from that, right?
That was really the only paranormal that we kind of had experience with.
Oh, really? So there was nothing else, that's enough.
We didn't.
It's just the anticipation.
It's just the anticipation,
and just being in that awkward spot, and you put yourself in this scenario. It's creepy. That's creepy. No matter.
Well, I kept asking if you and Christine wanted to come.
I wanted to go. Yeah,
I know. Yeah,
for whatever reason. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, and even down at the actual mill. The Mill of Kintail, the museum down there. Ethel, apparently, that was our Tate McKenzie's wife, his spirit down there. And we didn't get anything. And then downstairs in the bottom of the mill, the upstairs is the our Tate McKenzie museum. And then downstairs, they've turned that into the museum for James Naismith.
Okay.
And no, we didn't really get anything. A lot of the other groups got stuff, but
it's funny, these mills, there's always some ghost story. There's Watson's Mill in Manotick. It's the same idea. I think it's if memory serves me correct, like a bride that died on her wedding day or something like that. I'd have to look into that a little bit more, but there's always these stories, and it just makes it interesting. It gives a character, right?
It's fun.
Yeah. And the paranormal, all that stuff. So
we had fun here. We had the rods going, and
the rods.
So
what do they do?
So there, all Brian did was just take coat hangers, and do a 90-degree turn, and then you hold them in your hand.
Yeah.
And he actually put some straws inside, so that so like you can't manipulate without, not that you'd mean to, but you might hold them too tight or whatever.
Okay.
And then you ask questions, and they move, and there's that damn fly.
Yeah, there's another fly. It's our co-host.
There we go.
We got another host here helping us. A little fly. It hasn't been bothering us too much.
No.
Okay, so the coat hanger would move down.
Yeah. It goes across. It moves back and forth.
Yeah. Okay.
The down is if you're dowsing for water.
Yeah, I know. That's what it reminded me of. Okay.
Okay. So it was great. So, but the great part was one of the ladies that came for the reading. She's elder, and she lived in Almont, I believe, all her life, and her family's from not from Almont, Appleton, and she wanted to try it. So she was sitting holding 2 of the rods, and somebody else was, I can't remember who it was, somebody else was doing it also. And they would ask a question, because apparently here there's a young girl.
Okay.
We've never quite figured out her age or anything like that. But,
not yet, anyway.
Yeah, no. And so somebody asked, did you like skating when you were young? Eleanor, the elder lady, was, yes. She was answering all the questions. Not quite clicking in that we were asking the spirit. But anyways, it was good. We all had a good laugh.
Sounds like a good time.
It was, yeah.
Nice.
It was good.
That's good. So you were mentioning Corkery and paranormal earlier, right? And I was talking about UFOs in Almont, right?
Yep.
The last episode, and I said I would touch base with it again this episode to see. Well, I did a little bit of research. I have a few books and stuff, and so UFOs in Almont, actually, it's not Almont, I don't think.
No, actually, it's not.
It's technically Carp, I think, right?
Carp, yeah.
So there's been many books and articles and blogs and documentaries covering this weird story. It's a rabbit hole. It's crazy. So I believe it was on Old Almont Road, right? So you have Mannion Corners. Does that make sense? Like Corkery and Old Almont?
Yeah, maybe.
It would be on the, I think, maybe like the east side of that or whatever. So, yeah, not too sure. Anyway,
I don't really know.
So I don't think it is in the burnt lands, maybe, because the way it was described was like swampland. So
okay, then no, that.
Okay, so I wrote a few notes here. So this is known as, where am I? The Guardian case. Okay.
Guardian case.
Okay, the case was widely known due to a guy completely incognito and went by the alias known as the Guardian. So this Guardian person provided packages containing a VHS tape and various documents showing evidence and diagrams that he claimed was evidence that this UFO, which happened November 4th, 1989, I believe, was the landing or crash, was the real deal, right? So the VHS tape consisted of just bright flashing lights. Did you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Like really bright flashing lights, right? And just unusual. It was blurry and everything, but it was just an unusual looking object, I guess, right? So he made copies of this VHS tape, put his thumbprint on it, and mailed it.
Love it. I have a pretty good idea who it might have been, but
really? Okay, all right. So reportedly, he sent them. Yeah, you're giving me the smile. Sent them to several different UFO researchers and media outlets, and helped bring it a broader attention to it. Okay, so he also he did the VHS tape, but then he also put other documents in it showing evidence, I don't know, just sketches and stuff like that, right? So, anyways, a Canadian UFO researcher by the name of Bob Oshler. Was one of the main recipients of the Guardian's materials. Eventually, the case gained significant attention, sparking debate among the UFO researchers and the public. The video and materials Guardian provided eventually led to media grabbing a hold of it, such as American television program Unsolved Mysteries in the early 90s. So this was exciting times. Like for me, I would have been probably around 13 years old. And this was like the golden age of Unsolved Mysteries for me. Like we would, like after like a new episode of Unsolved Mysteries, we would all like go to school the next day and that would be
Talk
the talk of town. So the fact that they're coming to Old Almont Road and shooting a segment about UFOs just like blew our minds. It was exciting. Anyway. So you have an idea who this might be? Or?
I can't say, I mean, I don't know for sure, but there was a gentleman from Corkery, who unfortunately is no longer with us. Great guy.
Yeah.
He was a painter actually for a living and painted our house.
Yeah.
And was very strong believer about
UFOs and aliens.
True story. Yeah. He was so we had we were having our house built, and he was painting this one day, and one of my old coworkers when I worked part-time supporting adults with disabilities in their home came out to see me, and we'll just call him, we'll say his name was Pat.
Okay.
All right.
I have a feeling I might know his name, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And anyways, he proceeded to tell us that at the end of my driveway, there was two aliens looking in at us, waving at us, and they were friendly. And and Kim was great. She's like, really? Like, she was asking questions, and Pat was answering about, what the alien, but, only he could see them, and because they trusted him and all that. But
there remains plenty of doubt that this was real, the event. A lot of people think it's like obviously a hoax, stage props perhaps, or just maybe a weather balloon. So I've heard like reports like people thinking it's weather balloons.
Those weather balloons get mistaken for UFOs a lot.
Yeah. And then, like the Guardian's true identity remains unknown to this day, but I think like people play it up because it adds mystery to the whole event. So there's like what I saw. Okay, so obviously it got a lot of like press and publicity with Unsolved Mysteries, but to this day there's still stuff going on, right? So there's a CBC doc called, what was it called? UFO Town. And it was just recorded like a couple of years ago, and you can get that on YouTube. UFO Town, CBC. It's like 45 minutes. You can watch it. I started watching a little bit. It's interesting.
And it talks about
that case. And then I found a few like local books. Creepy Capital, written by Mark Leslie. He had like a bunch of ghost stories and weird stories that just around the Ottawa area, and he has a chapter on that. And then local artist Andrew King has a chapter about it in his Ottawa Rewind 2 book. So he has a series of books called Ottawa Rewind with all these just weird, mysterious stories and paranormal or just like local history. And so there's 3 books. This is in part 2. So he has a little chapter on that, which is pretty neat. And then also there's one lady who blogged about it. I think we were talking about her. Mm-hmm. What's her name again?
Linda. I don't know how to say her name properly.
And in her blog, she went to the location and scouted it out and talks about it quite a bit. There was even one part where she said there was a lot of power lines that go all the way up to the huge power dam in Arnprior, and feels like there might be a connection to that because there's a lot of sightings by that power dam, which I didn't know either. So
this is up towards Arnprior?
Yeah, Arnprior. You know that power. So I didn't know about that. I'd like to look into that a little bit.
So interesting. The big dam in Arnprior.
Yeah.
My gram always told the story about when they were building that dam, one of the workers fell in.
Yeah.
And they obviously couldn't, so they just kept pouring the cement because they couldn't pull them out.
Yeah.
So in that dam, there is a well-preserved body.
Ooh, really? Eh? Jeez, that's awful.
I don't know. I guess it would be preserved.
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess it would be. I guess we would be able to get any air to it. So
yeah.
It's horrible. We talk an awful lot of a dead body.
I know, right? Yeah. So back to the UFO thing too. So I also noticed there was a point where you could rent a yurt. So Airbnb.
Yeah.
there, like, if you could have, I don't know how Airbnb works, but I guess you go on the website and you can just sort of find these weird places to rent a yurt, or like an old cabin. You can, you know what I mean? Like, and so someone set up a yurt at this exact spot where this UFO supposedly landed. I don't know, like, it was published like about 4 years ago about this here, so I don't know if you can still like go there.
No idea. I'm not a Airbnb or
so, but I don't know if anyone ever did it, but that'd be interesting. It'd be pretty boring, I imagine, because I know the old Almont, and nothing wrong with old Almont Road. It's nice, but to actually take a little vacation and in the middle of this like forest, like swampy forest, in a yurt, I'm suspecting that it didn't do so well. And so a few people did it and said, no.
I wonder what the chances are of somebody who's listening to us. Actually, if you did, drop us a line on YouTube, I guess.
A comment would be good. So I don't know if that yurt is still there, but there's a lot of other things with the story. So the location, like if you look on Google Maps, you can see it has a weird shape to it. Like the part that's like there's trees, but then it's almost like a triangular shape of it just being torn down. Apparently that's where the UFO landed. But you can look at any Google map and zoom in something and say, well, that's a suspicious looking clearing there, right?
Yeah, you could do it in our corn.
But if you do a Google search of the CARP UFO landing, I'm sure you can find lots of stuff there. But the yurt thing, it's a good idea. So that's called dark tourism.
That's the name of the...
That's what like people do. They'll go to these...
So, like,
these crazy
you could
places.
go camp at a place where there's like a mass murder.
Yeah. Interesting. I like, maybe that's more dark tourism, the murder thing, as opposed to a UFO, but it's still like, it's kind of creepy. Like, not too many people would go out of their way to spend money to go to, a swamp land or whatever.
No.
In a yurt, hoping that they can see a UFO. Or like where there's a mass murder, like Crystal Lake. Oh, Jason Voorhees was here.
Yeah, exactly. Not my cup of tea, but hey.
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
do you like being scared?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, see, I'm awful. So when what was that zombie show that came out there? The Walking Dead. When The Walking Dead came out.
Yeah.
My husband Phil
the jump scares get you, right?
Yeah, and anyways, I eventually started watching it with him, and but I didn't really watch it with him. So I had my recliner set up. I had it moved back enough that I could see the reflection on the window.
Yeah,
and then I had the pillow up in front of me, and I'd be looking at the window.
That's awesome.
Ready to like close my eyes, but then through the whole thing going, "What's happening? What's happening?" And for me, it's awful when people get killed in horror movies and all that. But for me, it's animals. Like,
oh yeah, no, I feel the same way. Yeah.
So I think I was telling you about the time a friend of mine that I wanted to go see a movie, and was it The Hunt for the Red October? Is that the movie I was saying about? And I kept saying to her, "I'll go as long as
Alec Baldwin and
no, with Sean Connery and Gene Hackman, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Alec Baldwin is in that.
Oh, is he?
I don't know.
And I kept saying, I'll go see the movie with you, but there better not be any animals in it that get killed.
Okay.
And she kept saying, Trace, it's friggin' about a submarine.
Yeah, exactly.
Russia
I agree.
and the U.S. Like, come on. Like, what chances are there is of animals? And I'm like, okay. First scene, I think it's Sean Connery walking down with a freaking dog in the submarine. Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
And sometimes you just get a feeling when you see a dog or a cat in a movie, you're like, that's going to die.
So there's a site you can go to. There is a website you can go and you can ask if the dog, does the animal get killed? And
if there's emphasis on the pet, a close up as the scene starts, you just know there's something up with that pet later on in the movie, right?
Yeah. So when I was a kid, I could watch action movies and houses getting bombed.
But not Pet Sematary.
No. Oh, no. But I've never seen The Green Mile because I don't want to see the mouse get killed.
Yes,
honestly, that is the goodness truth.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it's a great movie.
Yeah.
I've E.T. Never seen. I've seen clips of E.T.
Yeah.
But have never sat through E.T.
So The Hunt for Red October, Sean Connery, Alec Baldwin, Scott Glenn, Sam Neill.
Not Gene Hackman?
I don't see. Tim Curry's in it. It's quite the cast. James Earl Jones is in it.
That was a great loss when he passed away.
John McTiernan directed it, who did Die Hard. So,
did you know how they made Darth Vader voice?
How?
He talked to a scuba diving.
Oh, that makes sense.
And funny enough, our last podcast, you talked about you wouldn't want to scuba dive because you consider it dangerous.
Well, yeah, I'll just sort of
Snar,
who he did not like that.
Snar was a guy who we used to work with at our high school, who's now moved on to another high school, and he sent us an email regarding the podcast and what he liked, and gave you a little bit of slack because he's a scuba diver.
Yeah.
Don't want to make light of it because it is a sad thing, but just like last week in Brockville, some guy was scuba diving and
I wasn't aware of that,
and died.
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, no, there is a risk, but like just like anything else, though, right? So,
yeah.
Jeez.
I still don't think I want to scuba dive.
It's just not for me, right? Like another one would be cave diving, like going.
No way.
Yeah,
no way.
That's worse. I'd rather go scuba diving than going in a cave.
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh no.
Not a fan of that.
I think almost something that's worse than that is having appointments that you have to keep.
Yeah, we talked about this. We hate keeping appointments. You know what though? I have to admit, Apple has helped me with that. I'm setting reminders and just like I'm getting the heads up, and
you are the reminder king. Yeah. I get Matt to set reminders for him to remind me.
So I don't type it in. I just use the voice. I do the Siri and I say, hey, set a reminder for blah, blah, blah. And then I'll get it. And it just alleviates the stress that I used to have, because before I didn't write it down at all. And it would be like last minute. I'm like, oh crap, I got an appointment today or whatever. So I'm working on it.
I can't, but knowing I have an appointment puts me in a spin.
Yeah, I know. I'd just rather not have the appointment.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just deal with my cavity.
And it's not that we're scared of like dentists or anything like that, but just knowing that we have to be someplace at a certain time.
Yeah.
Which is funny because on the way home from work today and driving here, I phoned my my good house hairdresser, Kathy Monroe. Shout out to Kathy Monroe, who, when I asked her how long she's been cutting hair, she said too long. Just lives down the road from us. Mm-hmm. And
maybe I should make an appointment. I need to get my hair cut.
Yeah. Kathy's great. She does it out of her house.
Okay.
And
that's more my style. Yeah.
Yeah. $20 gets me a haircut.
All right.
A wash. Clean up the eyebrows a wee bit. She talked me into it back a few years ago getting my eyebrows waxed. So now I get them waxed.
Nice. All right. That's what I need, maybe.
And I got it tomorrow at like 5:45, 5:30, 5:45. I said I'll plan to be there 5:45. But Kat's used to us calling and saying, going to be late, the cows are out or whatever. But those are the kind of appointments I like.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, no.
Can't I have an eye appointment in July 7th, and already I'm stressing about having it in July 7th.
Yeah, so I remind you about the episode or the appointments.
Yeah, you said it on your phone to remind me. I appreciate it. Yeah. I do. And that. So that's
nice.
And the cold season's coming on.
The cold?
The cold. I guess there's a really bad cold going around.
Oh, really?
That's what I hear. I've heard lots of people say they've had it for a while. And
oh, yeah, I'm hearing that. Yeah, I haven't, knock on wood.
Yeah, no, I don't. We get enough teenagers sneezing and coughing on us that I think our immune system is. Yeah. Yeah. My grandma said you had to eat a pound of dirt before you died. So
I just I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't last too long.
The cold is one of those things that like it's just crappy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Would you rather have the cold or the flu?
The flu or the cold for sure. I've had the flu and I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't last as long though, right? A cold can linger, I suppose.
A cold can linger.
Yeah.
Cold can linger. Yeah. 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 No, it's not fun, but, so people get your flu shot.
All right.
And, I think they're still doing the COVID shots.
Are they? I haven't had a shot in a while, but no. I don't.
But I think, I think it's one of the, like it's part of the cold.
Yeah.
Flu.
Like the flu. Yeah. Yeah. It's the same thing. Yeah. Well, I think it's time to, get that.
Yeah.
So no, it's good. And, it's hopefully it doesn't last, but we got November approaching as well, and with
Remembrance Day.
Right now we're recording the night before Halloween.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and so we're all excited. My kids are really excited going out. I got a costume for the first time in like 25 years.
You were so excited when you came to
Yeah,
school.
I'm going as Freddy Krueger, so that's good. Yeah, and my youngest son, I'm going out with him, and he looks like a Grim Reaper with glowing eyes, sort of thing. So
nice.
Yeah, it should be fun.
I know the answer, but just for giggles, are you dressing up tomorrow at work?
No, because I don't think I would be allowed to wear the Freddy Krueger. It's a full face mask.
Yeah,
and I got the authentic glove, like with the blades sticking out, so it's like metal and everything. So
you won't dress up as something else?
No.
I am dressing up.
Okay.
I'm
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm dressing up as a grumpy EA.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah. That's
yeah.
It's like Halloween every day for you, sort of thing. Okay, like, all right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's it'll be fun. It's next year it's on Friday night, so that'll be a little crazy. Almont was known for Halloween. There was they always brought in some years ago now, they would bring in extra police and everything. They would set barrels on fire and roll them down the main street.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. No, it was.
Can't really do that anymore, I suppose, right?
No. And I remember one year we on the 8th line, the Presbyterian Cemetery. There's a hill on either side, and we made a dummy and got a big branch and hung it out, so when people came up over the hill, they'd see this body hanging.
It's
didn't take the cops too long.
Just driving around my neighborhood as well. Like there's some people that just go all out now. Like it feels like more now than it used to be, even growing up. Like they deck out their whole property with like some funny, cute stuff to like disturbing. Like I saw one where it was like a mutilated guy, like, or like some skinned person, the slab of skin's hanging next to him, like he's just like like it's just like you just see his like bloody corpse just hanging upside down. Like it's crazy.
I want to be that person that's dressed up and sitting on the bench and scaring kids as they come.
Yeah, that's classic. Yeah,
that'd be my cup of tea.
Yeah, no, I did a few things. We got like the inflatable ghost, and we carved our pumpkins yesterday. And what else? There's like some sort of ghoul that will spook you as you walk by. The eyes will turn around, which is it's a little. They'll move around. They'll light up and move around, and it just like kind of does a weird like.
We don't decorate, but I mean, we may get.
Oh, so you're out in the farm.
Yeah.
Like, so how many people would you get?
Maybe Hadley if she makes it over there.
Okay, so so my parents are out in the country, but there's a few people around them, and there's lots of like kids. Like it goes through cycles. Like there will be like a few years, no one because there's no kids, but then all of a sudden couples get married and have a few kids, and next thing you know, they have like 14 or 15 kids come by, right? Like, and the parents will drive them from house to house because it's out in the country. But even in like where I am, like in the suburbs, it's depends. Like some years it feels like there's only like 10, 15 kids, barely even dress up, and then other years it's like I run out of candy and stuff.
So Ryan and Amanda and Hadley will go out and do their trick-or-treating, go over to Appleton, to Ashton, to Ryan's family, and then they'll do the thing. And then if Hadley has enough energy left on the way home, they'll stop in at my place. But no, it's not we don't get kids knocking on the doors for sure.
Yeah.
Which is fine with me.
Yeah, no, I have some pets as well, so they're barking and going crazy. My cat is hiding underneath my son's bed. It's quite the night.
What's the weather supposed to be like?
I don't know, but so last night we got crazy thunderstorms, and
all we got was a bit of lightning. We had a bit of rain, but we had lightning in the background.
So I'm always hearing different things. We weren't even supposed to get all that rain. It feels like I didn't hear of anything.
Yeah.
So who knows? It's a wait and see. That's what I do with the weather.
So talking about weather, it is harvest season for farmers.
Okay.
And as some of you will know I'm a farmer. So if you are on the roads and you see tractors out, slow down.
Slow down.
You don't have to pass them within 3 seconds of coming up to them. And they will be. And the other thing is, if you're coming up and you see on the left-hand side a field with some tractors in it and they're working.
Yeah.
And there's a tractor coming that way and has to cross over, chances are that's where they're going to turn. So don't pull out and pass right in front of where there's obviously field work being done.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's... anyway.
Piece it together, right?
Piece it together.
Yeah.
Slow down. The other thing actually I wanted to mention was when I was going to work the other morning, I had to pull over because a vehicle was coming towards me with the green sirens on, green lights on. And I don't know how many people outside of rural areas realize that green lights on a vehicle means it's a volunteer firefighter.
Okay.
And so they don't have sirens or anything because they just drive their own cars.
It's like their truck or car or
whatever.
And they have a siren, like the light is like
usually on the dashboard.
On the dashboard, yeah. So you'll see it not on top of the car or anything, but you'll notice a flashing light. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're ever in the rural area and you see a green light coming towards you in a vehicle, pull over. It is a volunteer firefighter getting to the hall to go to a fire or an accident or something like that. And a lot of I don't know if a lot of people realize that like we don't have we have a fire department and we have some paid employees that work full time for our fire, but our firefighters are volunteer firefighters. They have another job. They work elsewhere. A lot of them have their own jobs, so that's why they can to do this. But and they get compensated for when they're fighting, but they're not full time paid firefighters like the city of Ottawa and that.
So show the respect and pull over for
a green light.
Yeah. No, that's good to know, actually. I'm sure a lot of people don't know that, right? So
if you've lived in the city all your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
And like they can't, like if people are slowing down, like I don't even know if legally.
A green flashing light coming from behind, I would think it's a UFO.
It's a little green Martian.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh my God.
It's like
I'm going to be on Unsolved Mysteries.
What's his name from Flintstones?
Oh my God.
Gazoo.
Gazoo, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was going to ask ChatGPT, but I don't think we're allowed.
Yeah, no, we broke the law on our first podcast. We're wanted felons. We discovered
we lost our co-host.
Yeah, you explain what happened.
Well, I just asked ChatGPT. I'm like, is it okay to record a podcast and have your voice on it? And just said, oh, right now, no.
Criminals.
Well, no, we can ask it questions and we can summarize, right? But like the conversation between me and ChatGPT is private.
There we go.
That's what it said, and I'll respect that.
Yeah, we don't need to have a lawsuit.
No, it's it was just a spur of the moment thing there, so we'll see. But yeah, that's interesting. A little tidbit for anyone.
Have you ever done the Kingston Penitentiary tour?
The penitentiary, no.
No, it'd be a cool thing to do.
So what's that?
The old Kingston.
Like just like a tour, like a simple tour. Okay, nothing like Halloween. Sorry,
no.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I've been to like Old Fort Henry, and but I've never been to the penitentiary.
Yeah, it'd be cool to do their tour.
That would be neat. Yeah, we should do that and do a podcast.
So our grade 12s, English class, the teacher Michaela, she always does a whole serial killer unit. And the kids love it, and it really gets them engaged and everything like that. One of the assignments one time was to write a persuasive paragraph. And one of the students asked me if I could help them. And she ended up writing a persuasive paragraph on why they should be doing a field trip to the Kingston Penitentiary.
Oh, nice.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. Good. And I think there's two different tours you can do. You can kind of do the basic tour of the place, and then you can do a more in-depth one where they actually go sort of more into the heart of the penitentiary and talk more about the actual criminals that were there.
Okay.
But they do not, they don't show you where, what's the dude there? Kamala.
Paul Homolka and Bernardo, Paul Bernardo.
Paul Bernardo, and then the Wilson, the lieutenant there, the disgraced guy there, the Wilson or whatever his name is.
Colonel Russell Williams.
Yeah, Williams. They don't, I was close. They don't show them, they don't show you where that they were or anything like that.
Okay. There's also like that old jail cell in Ottawa.
Supposedly haunted.
Yes, it's full cycle here. Haunted. And I think, I'm not too sure, like I'm looking it up. I feel like you can rent rooms in there now.
Yeah, not for me.
No, exactly. Like, well, it's a hostel, right? So like, I think they're trying to make it look all nice, but
I'm the biggest wuss there is. I really am. Like I am. Like, I'm the biggest. So last week, 2 weeks ago when we were done here, you packed up and I said, get going because you have a longer drive than I do. And I was waiting for Ed to come back to close up the museum for us. And I said to you, I'll wait out in the car because I wasn't waiting in the museum by myself.
So back to the jail hostel. So it's St. Lo Jail Hostel. I'm on the website and it says, welcome to St. Lo Jail Hostel. You don't need to commit a crime to go to prison. Just book your room in a real cell block. So this would be dark tourism pretty much. Although we added comfort, we haven't touched the most distinctive elements like the stone and the iron door cells. Like imagine like paying for that. So it's over 150 years old and yeah, I guess people do that, right? So it's an experience.
Yeah,
so,
I wouldn't.
Yeah, no.
I would not. So back, this was back quite a few years ago now. A good friend, Barb, called me one evening, upset that her cat had been killed on Ottawa Street, which is the road, Main Street, heading out of Almont towards March Road. And she just lives off one of the side streets. So I go in. She had 4 cats. So I go in. I call her other good friend Pauline and said, "You better get into Barb's." I can't remember the name of the cat. Is dead. So I get there first, and she's very much a cat lady. And I said, "Are you sure it's dead?" Well, beside the door in a box with a towel over it, she pulls it back, and like the head is.
Oh, it's horrible.
And I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, it's dead." So, anyways, and then Pauline shows up. And we're having a cup of tea and everything, and Pauline goes to the washroom and she comes back out and she says, "Barb, how many cats do you have?" And Barb says, 4. Well, 3 now. Why? And Pauline says, "Well, if there's one there and one there, and the one sitting there on that chair, and the other, and then who's that over in the living room on the couch?" Barb goes, "Oh my God, that's whatever. Anyways, a cat that looked just like hers. Got smucked in the road."
Oh my God. Oh, wow.
But
that's like Pet Cemetery almost.
But what happened before, exactly, yeah. But what happened before that was we were sitting there having a cup of tea, and all of a sudden the box, like you started hearing in the box.
Oh, okay.
And we all kind of stop and we look at the box, and I'm thinking like,
oh, that's creepy.
That cat was dead. Like, there's no way that cat be alive. Why is it moving? Like, Barb goes like, "What the hell?" And she goes over to look.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was just the body starting to relax. And she says, "It's okay. It's just," and she turns around and P and I are in the living room huddled in the corner, hugging each other. Just about cropping our pants.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. That's the perfect story for a Halloween episode. This is like a Halloween episode, I guess.
Can you imagine? Like, oh gosh.
Yeah, that'd be freaky.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. And then it ended up not being even her cat.
Yeah.
Somebody else's cat. But we found the owner, so it all worked out, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Not really, but.
Not for the cat.
No.
Yeah.
No. But
it's good that the owners know, so they're not looking for it. So.
True. Yeah.
Well, I think that's... I think last episode...
Was 51 minutes?
Yeah, we're at 50. But last episode, we ended off on funerals where the person's still alive.
The bell, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then now this is sort of like the cat. The cat being dead and it's coming back to life or whatever. So there's a theme, and like we're at 50 minutes too. So.
Are we really already at 50 minutes?
Yeah, time flies and you're having fun.
Holy crap!
We can keep on going, or.
Well, I mean, we got lots to talk about.
Yeah. Do you have any rants or anything? Well, you had a bit of a rant.
Do I have any rants
earlier? But I like the volunteer fire, and then slow down for tractors, which is a good one because
yeah. Like,
and put your signal on too if you're passing, right?
Okay, that drives me crazy. Drives me crazy.
Yeah,
drives me crazy if people do not signal.
Yeah, even for garbage trucks, you should be doing that when you pass a garbage truck. Like even in residential, I always do anyway.
Yeah. It's just common courtesy. Yeah. Common courtesy is something that has been thrown out the door. Thrown out the door.
Yeah.
It's just it's you're starting to smirk because you can tell I'm starting to.
No, that's good. That's good.
But it is like like now one of my biggest pet peeves is I'll be grocery shopping, which I don't do very often. My husband does most of the grocery shopping, but I'll be at anywhere, and I'll be looking at something.
Yeah, and
somebody just walks right by, or if I'm talking to somebody.
Yeah.
And they just walk right by you, right through you. And
no don't even spatial awareness.
Don't even say excuse me.
I know, right?
If you're in a grocery store and somebody's looking at the shelf at something, either go around them, and if you can't go around them, just simply say excuse me as you go by them. Like,
a friendly excuse me.
Friendly. If you're coming to a door, fine, go through first, but keep it open for the person behind you. Like, come on, people. Common courtesy is.
Or like if you're waiting for an elevator, or if you're going in. You let the people go out first, right? Like, so if you're going on a bus, a public bus, you let the people get off the bus first before you go on. The same applies to an elevator. Same applies to just like going into a grocery store or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Common courtesy.
Yeah.
Common courtesy is
etiquette. Simple etiquette sometimes, right?
Simple. Yeah. I know my etiquette because I did etiquette for the 80s at 4-H. When I was...
Etiquette for the 80s.
Etiquette for the 80s. That was the name of the title. It was a 4-H club that I did.
Oh, wow. That sounds great.
Way back in the 80s when I was... I was born in the early 70s.
Amazing. So. Okay.
4-H, yeah.
Yeah.
Learned about, placing forks and etiquette for the 80s and how to say nice thank you properly. And
placing forks. Yeah. When there's a lot of forks and spoons and everything, I just think of Kathy Bates in Titanic.
God,
I know. But so you have Kate Winslet, Rose. She doesn't know what to do. Or no, not Rose. Leonardo DiCaprio, Jack.
Yeah.
And he sees all the forks and he doesn't know what to do. And Kathy Bates, so she's like found money. She's like, just start on the outside and work your way in. That's where you start, right? And I always will remember that for the... Did
you like the movie Titanic?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's entertaining. Yes, I loved it.
Drove me crazy. Yeah. The boat is sinking. The ship is sinking.
Yeah.
Some guy is hanging off the railing. He falls. And as his head hits this great big propeller that's like the size of the field beside us.
Yeah.
All you hear is dung. Like, come on. Stuff unrealistic in movies driving. Yeah. Okay, so Yellowstone.
Actually, can I mention something about Titanic? So astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson watched the movie, and he watches a lot of like sci-fi movies and will critique like what's wrong with it. But he watched Titanic, and so he messaged James Cameron saying he got all the constellations wrong in the movie.
No.
Like when the ship is sinking, like they are. That's not right. And so that bothered James Cameron so much that he changed it. They had like a re-release, like, 20 year re-release and put it in theaters, and he changed all the,
interesting.
I know. Yeah, I always like that. Anyway, okay. Yellowstone.
Yeah. So Phil started watching it and he kept saying to me, you've got to watch it. And I'm like, I don't know really. Well, there's horses. There's,
I've never seen it, but yeah.
Anyways,
you're afraid animals will die.
I watched one episode.
Yeah.
I know, which is kind of ironic with me being a beef farmer, but anyways, we won't go in there right now. I watched one episode. And in the episode I watched, well, no, actually, that's not true. I watched the first episode, and in the very first scene, there's an accident, and Kevin Costner has to shoot a horse.
Okay.
That's been injured in this.
That's a bad start for you.
And I went, not watching this anymore. Nope. And I shut her off, and that was it. I think maybe Phil was watching, and I walked out of the living room and said, I'm done. Anyways, he finally convinced me to come back and watch some more episodes. Sat down, And 2 seconds into the episode I was watching, they find a cow that's calving out in the fields.
Yeah.
And they deliver a breech calf.
Okay.
Now, anybody who doesn't know what a breech calf means, head first.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Sorry, bum first.
Yeah, I was going to say
bum first.
Okay, gotcha.
Which can be deadly, just like as a child with a baby.
How
right?
common is that with?
Not that common, but when it does happen, you want to get it out real fast.
So it's not common, but it's like
it's common enough.
Common enough that you're not going to panic. Like it's not like.
No, it's not like it's like. Usually, if a cow is going to have a breech calf, it'll start showing signs of having difficulty, and if you arm it, you can tell by feeling their feet if it's front feet or back feet, and if you feel the back feet first, then it's let's get it out quick, and you usually
you can tell the back feet from the front feet.
Yeah, the way the hooves bend in that. So anyway, so they deliver this breech calf, which okay, fine, that's fine. 2 seconds later, the calf is up, running across the fields with the mother, and they said, we'll.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, no. Right. If you're going to have a show, based around a ranch, and cattle and horses, you have to make it at least realistic. And no calf, breeched or not, is not going to be dried off and running with its mother within the first 3 seconds.
There's no cut to a different scene. It was like within the same
thing. Same thing. Delivered it, and then they watched it walk off. And it's like, no. I'm sorry. You lost me there.
How long would it usually take?
Calves, depending on the calf, we've had some calves that once they're, born and kind of got their bearings, they might try to get up within 10 minutes, but they're not walking. Like they're up and down, they're flopping. Around. Within 20 minutes, half an hour, they're usually somewhat stable on their feet.
They start off as like sort of like Bambi on ice a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And then usually within like the hour, they're walking around fairly, but
it takes a little while.
Yeah. Like, no, if you're anyways. Yeah.
Fair enough. Sometimes I call that movie magic, right? They just get to the point. It'll be fine. Just to show
it's
the
like
audience
City Slickers. City Slickers.
Yes, yeah.
When the calf was born, right?
Oh, I just watched City Slickers. So
well, and so the calf that was born, was a Jersey.
Okay,
but I think it was like I can't even remember what kind of cow gave birth. I think it was like a Hereford or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you can have crossbreed, and so that was actually my nickname in college was Norm, because we used to milk Jerseys and Ayrshires. So City Slickers came. And when I was in high school, my nickname was Homer. So I should have patented that name. I should have claimed that name, and I could have made. Because Simpsons were Simpsons were not around then.
Yeah, but the name Homer was already.
Yeah, I know, but I still feel Simpsons made. That's kind of an insult, isn't it? That Homer was kind of named after me.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I never watched the Simpsons cat stand.
Oh really?
Oh no.
There's not too many shows that you like. I notice.
You drive me crazy.
Like I can't. Well, no, there are shows that you like, but like I'll mention a show like Seinfeld. I mentioned, I hate it, and The Simpsons.
Seinfeld. Like, I just want to
really,
and this came on because a couple of people made comments that like your podcast is going to be like Seinfeld.
Well, but I was mentioning that I'm going to go see Seinfeld. I think in January or so. Seinfeld with Jim Gaffigan. I've never seen.
No, I wanted to. I just wanted to smack. What's her Elaine across the head.
Yeah.
And
it was George.
I just wanted to like he needed to take his lip and pull it over his head and swallow. He was so annoying.
No, he was based off of the creator of the show, Larry David. So Curb Your Enthusiasm. Have you ever seen that show? Yeah. Okay.
No. Seinfeld drove me crazy. Same with Friends. No, I was not a Friends person.
Fair enough.
No.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh, it makes sense. I mean, sitcoms like.
Now, Mork
and Mindy.
So. I was just talking about this the other day about the Nanu and the Vulcan thing. Yeah. And somebody at work said, like, who's Mork and Mindy?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Come on.
It's funny with these sitcoms. Like they seem like they're the biggest thing for a while, and then a few will, stand the test of time, or they'll become popular again. Like the Friends, I feel like got a resurgence. Like suddenly everyone was watching Friends again because it was on Netflix or whatever, right? And it's the exposure. But like Mork and Mindy, like
That's where Robin Williams got.
Yeah, I know. Can you stream that? I'm not too sure, right? Like, yeah.
It's like MASH, right? Mm-hmm. Interesting thing about Matlock. Gotta love him.
Well, there's a new Matlock with Kathy Bates. Speaking of Kathy Bates.
That's what you were saying the other day. MASH, interesting enough, when it aired the final episode.
Yeah.
This was long before VCR, PVV, whatever, all that stuff. Yeah. When it finished, New York City sewage system started flooding the streets because so many people held out going to the washroom because they didn't want to, they even held out during commercials because they didn't want to miss it. Then when it was finally over with, the New York City sewage system got bombarded with toilet flushes.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And sewage started.
Such a big deal. And that's like, it's funny. That's like something that, won't really happen these days because everyone watches things unless it's like the World Series or, some live sporting event. Everyone watches shows at different times,
Yeah.
So,
well, I don't even really watch live TV anymore.
Like remember like Who Shot JR? Everyone was watching that. At the exact
I remember
same time.
My Graham and Ainsley got on the phone the next day.
Yeah.
Talked all about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I miss like some of those old shows, right? Like even the sitcoms. I know a lot of people complain about sitcoms with the laugh tracks or whatever, but there's just something about them, just
Carol Burnett.
You shut your brain off. Carol Burnett. Yeah.
There's a classic.
Yeah.
There's a classic. Like, I mean, I don't think you're going to get anything funnier than Carol Burnett.
The sketch comedy and then talking to the audience. That was just like her bread and butter. That was, you couldn't beat that. And she just engaged with them so well, right? Like then Tim Conway and who's the other lad?
Harvey Carmick.
Yeah. Oh my God. They're so good. Yeah.
Do you remember the Tommy Hunter show?
No, I never heard of it.
He's a Canadian musician that had a show on
I'll have to look that up.
Friday night. And then you had Stompin' Tom.
Yeah, I remember him. Obviously.
And then Johnny Cash would have his show.
Okay. Yeah. See, I don't. Yeah, that doesn't.
I'd get up to start stomping my little foot with Stompin' Tom.
Yeah. Oh, he was classic.
He was a classic. All right. He was interesting stories about Stompin' Tom.
Yeah. Where was he from? Do we know?
I don't know.
Was he from?
I want to say like Sudbury, or I don't know where he was actually from.
Let me take a look here.
He went everywhere. I mean,
well, that's the thing, right? Like you don't really know because I feel like everybody feels like he was from.
I think he was from Ontario. Yeah. I think, but I could be wrong.
New Brunswick. He was born. He was born in St. John, New Brunswick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Nova Scotia. I'm just skimming through here. So
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah,
great storyteller.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
great storyteller.
Yeah,
and I mean, only certain people can write those kind of songs that are so ridiculous and make them a classic.
Yeah.
And that. So yeah.
Yeah, there's not too many of Stompin' Toms out there.
No. But if anybody's looking,
that'd be good for a Throwback Thursday. Stompin' Tom.
Ooh, Throwback Thursday, yeah. So Matt and I do every Thursday. We do a Throwback Thursday at our school, and then we have an email list of fellow coworkers and other fairly important people of our school board that we send it off to them. But
and we sort of compete. Yeah, I pick a song. Trace picks a song. We don't know which song we picked. We post it, and then the recipients will listen to both songs, and they'll get to vote which song they like better, or if they don't like either one, or if they like both. Right.
And it's great because you're out in the halls more than I am. I'm more stationed in 314, but you'll hear
lots of comments.
Teachers.
Oh yeah, they'll be playing it. Yeah,
and one Blue Blazer Dave is using it as for one of his math units in his grade 11 class. The data, the probability.
We're collecting a lot of data here. This is important stuff, right? And so I think we should keep a tab on like who's winning. So we do it once. No, but on the podcast. So we do it once a week, every Thursday. Obviously, we started at the beginning of the year. We started it last year, but this year it's clean slate. So I think you won the first week.
I can't remember. Yeah. We're tied 4-4.
So now we're tied 4-4. There was a point where I was up, I feel.
I was up and then you caught up to me.
Yeah. And then, yeah. So.
And you're going to get this week.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, so you pulled out the cowbells. You got. I just have a bunch of old guys on the stage singing. Yeah. So
hey, that's pretty good. Like Stompin' Tom, right? Maybe. Right. Anyway, so we're at an hour and 4 minutes. That's wow. Yeah, I know. We could keep going, but
no, I think an hour is.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. You know what? If we get into conversation, like right now, we're like wrapping it up, but who knows?
We could talk a lot.
This is like leaning on the pitchfork.
That's right.
This is the way it goes.
That's right.
You don't know how long. So sometimes it could be like 15 minutes. Another time it could be like 3 hours and 15 minutes.
So years ago, this was when we were still milking, and Mom and I'm pretty sure Mom and I had been up all night with a cow, and we just decided to stay up and milk. And it was a Sunday morning, and one of our neighbors came over, and he's a fairly quiet guy. He's you have to kind of engage with the conversations.
Yeah, initiate. Like yeah, okay, yeah.
Anyway, so he came in and he sat down and he had a coffee and chatted away for a couple hours, and I think I finally just went and laid on the couch because I was I was tired, and my mom and my gram stayed and chatted with him. And then finally, like 2.5 hours later, whatever, he puts down his like coffee cup after having, I don't know how many cups of coffee, and says, well, I just came over to let you know my horse had a foal if you want to come over and see it.
Nice.
That's all he had to say.
Yeah, sometimes short and sweet. It's perfect.
So
speaking of coffee, I'm looking at my coffee cup that you got me from Equator Coffee. It says established in 1998. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
It's been around for a while. You might have mentioned that earlier, but
it has
organic fair trade.
Yeah.
That's always a big thing for coffee. So yeah, that's
cool. I'm sure their coffee is good. I had a hot chocolate.
That was good coffee. Yeah.
You can buy the bags of all different kinds of coffee. I think I got
no instant
medium.
though. No instant. So McDonald's has instant coffee now.
Well, when you told me that, I was all excited because I thought it was like you could go to McDonald's and buy but it's in
you can buy a little tin. I've never seen a big tin. A little tin, like
in the grocery stores.
The grocery stores, a little pricey, but not too bad considering how much you pay for. You know what? Next time I see it, I'll buy it and bring it into work. So
bring it into work.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good, I like to change it up. That's the thing with instant coffee. I can't do the same one over and over again. Like I need to mix it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Matt is by far the best work husband that you could have. He'll be in the back office with a student, and I'll just look at him and give him and he'll turn the kettle on and all that. You and I remind me of last year, Jane retired from our school, phys ed teacher, great lady. And Elliot got up and said a few words at her retirement party. And Elliot said, and they had worked together at previous schools, known each other for quite a few years, and said something along the lines of, like it is possible for a man and a woman to have a really close relationship and just stay as friends. They had shared hotel rooms together while coaching. And all that. And that's how I feel about you and I. Like we've worked together for how many years?
It was 15.
15 years. And we just connected right from the word go. And we're just good friends, and that's where it is. And like he's absolutely the best.
The first thing that you said to me is that you're a farmer. Like right away. I was like, perfect.
So I can lean on.
I'm like, oh, thank God.
I can lean. Yeah. I'm not a high maintenance. But if you want to talk about cows, I'm more than happy to.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's just, it's great. And I want to talk more about cows too, like on this podcast as well. I have questions and
just don't get me going on a rant about climate change and my cows.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to annoy anybody. And
save that for next episode.
I don't need my mother.
This is the Halloween episode.
I don't need my mother telling me, Trace, you cannot say that.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
But I will say, there's that saying that throughout your life, you're going to need a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, perhaps a minister or a priest. But every day of your life, you're going to need a farmer. And that is very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
And with that, we will...
That's a good way to end the episode.
That's a good way. So be kind to farmers.
All right. Well, that was great.
So another 2 weeks, we'll...
Sounds good.
We'll meet again.
Perfect.
At the North Lanark Regional Museum.
Yeah. Thank you again
to
North Lanark Regional Museum. This is a fantastic place. If you're ever in the area of Appleton, Ontario, I suggest you come by. And
you can also go onto the website, northlanarkregionalmuseum.com, and there's virtual things and all that.
Yeah, and you could probably find the hours. Like, the
hours are not like they're closed today. They're during the winter.
There's events there's events to look for. And
like us on Facebook,
and also listen to this podcast to know of the events as well.
I know a lot of our students are listening to the podcast.
Yeah,
I know.
And then so we're in the tea room, and I think the sound might be better in this.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
it's a little bit more enclosed.
Yeah. So.
That's
nice.
it.
Okay. All right. Well, cheers.
All right. Be kind to everyone. Bye.